Good morning. It is Monday morning on day 2 of my video journal / let's get things going again, I guess. So take my glasses off here because quite frankly I can't see anything except a glare. So anyhow, I am getting ready to head out. I have my protein shake to start the day off, and it actually isn't that half bad. There was a point in time when I actually thought that I would never be able to look at another protein shake in my entire life. But it's actually pretty good. It is kind of a strange combo. Orange protein powder, strawberry yogurt, and a half of a banana, all with some almond milk. So, it tastes pretty good. Not too bad. I have not planned my meals out. I've kind of done this enough where as long as I've got the stuff in the refrigerator, then I know that I can pretty much, do okay. So I'm kind of waiting for some music to download onto my iPod, and I'm heading to the hub. Basically, just like I was talking about yesterday, all I'm going to do is walk right now. I have been having some major problems with my knee. Evidently, the cartilage is breaking down on my kneecap, and I've got a little water on the knee. They've told me that the only way that can be alleviated is to get the weight off. So that's what I'm going to do. I didn't really have a chance yesterday to talk a whole lot about how I'm feeling or the stress or lack of, or anything of that nature. It being a Sunday, also drinking my water. Yay! Second cup already. So it being a Sunday, yesterday, everybody was here. Billy and Zach were both here, and since I'm doing the video journal now and talking out loud, it's not exactly something that I wanted to discuss while, everybody was running around. So basically, the reason that I feel like I am ready to do this and can do this is, quite frankly, the amount of stress that has just disappeared from my life since I left the unfortunately stressful, extremely stressful situation that I was in for almost 13 years with my husband. Since moving out, the stress has just subsided massively. I can't even describe exactly how I feel and how much better I feel. Everything seems to be falling into place in my life, and I can't be happier right now. I have my best friend beside me, Billy, and I have my kiddo beside me, my 14-year-old Zach. In addition to that, my sons have both contacted me, Jory and Javon, my older boys. I couldn't be happier than to hear from them. It's just amazing that they reached out to me, and I cried for days just from the happiness that I felt. And I really look forward to having them in my life. I have a lot of regrets, but you can't change the past. You can only look toward the future and create for yourself a future that you want it to be. So I seen something on Facebook yesterday, something along the lines of a tough life is not something that we're given. We're just simply given a life, and it's up to us to make that life what it is. Whether it be tough, stressful, whatever it happens to be. It is completely up to us on what we choose to make our life. And I am choosing, finally, for the first time in a very, very long time, I am choosing to be happy. And I am choosing to enjoy my life. And yesterday, I said to Billy that I don't think I remember laughing so much in a very, very long time like I've laughed in the last 2 months. We have such a great time, him and I and Zach. We laugh and we joke and we we play practical jokes on each other, and we just have a wonderful, wonderful time. And I couldn't feel better right at this moment. Obviously, the medical training that I'm in, I feel like it could be going faster than it is, but I'm hoping that if I can get myself motivated enough to get things in my life right, and not let my depression take over, which has been happening for a very long time. My depression has just bombarded me in so many ways, and I have, despite what people really want to admit, yes, even if you're born with the predisposition to have clinical depression, which I was, it is on both sides of my family. And from what I understand, my father was bipolar, even though that was back in the day when bipolar didn't exist, the term for it anyhow. My mother, don't even want to start with that. Her ups and downs I've watched all my life. And one of the biggest fears that I had ever was to become her. And one day I looked in the mirror and I realized that I was slowly becoming my mother. And I did not like what I saw. And I will not be that way. So I finally have a support system that I've always wanted. I have bariatric surgery 4.5 years ago, and I seriously should be on top of the world right now. I should be at a nice, weight that where I feel and look beautiful, and I'm not. And it's a lot because of everything that has happened, everything that I've allowed in my life. And that's where we have to come to a conclusion about ourselves. We have to realize that even though things in life may not always be under our control, how we react to them is completely our control. And not only how we react to them, but also how we let it affect us. If you have something happen to you and it piques your depression, and your depression, comes out in full force like a vengeance, and starts to control the way you act, you have that choice whether or not, when you wake up the next morning on a brand new day, to let that control that day as well. The previous day is gone. The situation, hopefully, is mostly gone or has resolved itself. I mean, granted, life does throw us some situations that can take time to resolve, and we just have to go with it, and let it ride itself out until it gets to the point of where it has resolved itself, or we, can control the resolve at some point in time. And that's one of the things that I actually had to come to. One of the hard things to understand about yourself is that you are in control. Very, very little in our lives are beyond our control. We choose what we do and what we don't do. We can choose how we handle things and how we don't handle them. And realizing that although the situation that I found myself in my marriage and in my life for the last 13 years, although a lot of that may not have been something that I was in control of, a lot of it was not caused by me. I did not create a lot of my issues. However, how I responded to them was something that wasn't necessarily healthy. And in addition to that, allowing my depression to take over me and turn me into someone who allowed the people around me to drain me of my life, my energy, my happiness, everything that was me. I allowed it to happen. I allowed it to continue to happen. And so in turn, I can't complain about the last 13 years because to a point I have allowed the last 13 years. And that's a very hard thing to come to a conclusion. It is a very, very hard thing to realize that you're in control of what goes on around you. A lot of people may, want to say, hey, this happened to me, and this person did this to me, and wah. And I've been there, trust me. but you don't truly heal and you don't truly move on until you realize that, one, you have a problem. That sounds like your typical AA and drug addict and everything. It always starts with saying, I have a problem. It always starts with looking at yourself and saying, I have a problem. And then from there, you can move on to fixing that issue. And that is in your control completely. And that's what I've finally done. I've finally taken that step to take back what was drained from me and find it again. So the reason that I made the move to start today was actually not a planned one. I just simply went to bed Saturday night thinking, it's about time. I've been out 2 months, a little more than 2 months, and I find a reason to smile every single day. I wake up with a smile. I don't wake up with that heavy feeling of dread that I had for so many years. I really feel free. And the only two things that it continues to loom over me is, of course, my weight, which at 40, almost 6 years old, next month, my sister just turned, forgive me, Rachel, 42. And Mary, my cousin, turns 46 in just a few months. The beginning of March always reminds me that the family threesome is turning another a year older. I mean that by the three of us cousins that were born so close together. Mary came along first. 6 weeks later, I did, and 6 weeks after that, Cindy did. So when Mary, the beginning of March reminds me, okay, Rachel's birthday, Mary's birthday, and then it reminds me that in 6 weeks I have another one. And turning 40 was hard. Turning 45 was tough. But I'm hoping that by the time I turn 46, that I'm looking at life with a perspective that this isn't me getting old. This is me getting better and learning to live and getting healthier and finding happiness and enjoyment. And that's what I'm determined to do. That's what I want. It was amazing how quickly the stress just fell off when I got out of the stressful atmosphere. The negativity that I lived with for 13 years, it does not exist around here. In this house, I'm the only one that has negativity. And I'm still fighting demons. I'm still fighting inner demons. And they will continue to consume me for a while. I will continue to fight them until I beat them. But my inner demons do cause a rise. Excuse me. Please. That comes from my bariatric surgery, the fact that I have a very small tummy. I can't always control when I belch, so I apologize. So it was just time. It was just time, finally. And so I got up yesterday morning and I stepped on the scale, and I was pleased that I had lost some weight since I last weighed in about a month before. So, hey, 3.8 pounds in a month. But hey, I'll take it, right? Replacing the negativity in my life with extreme positivity, I know is going to do so much for me. And I just can't wait to see the person inside of me that has fought to get out for so long. I can't wait to meet her. I think I am slowly seeing her. Billy said something to me yesterday. I asked him how he could see past all this, because when I look at myself in the mirror, it's very hard for me to look at myself in the mirror. As a matter of fact, these video diaries was my counselor's solution to me facing myself. So, as I talk, the camera obviously is up, so when I look like this, I'm looking straight at the camera. When I look like this, I'm looking at me. I can see me. So, a video journal was her idea of me facing me every day. And believe it or not, when you are almost 200 pounds overweight, you don't look at yourself in the mirror any more than you have to. And by not looking at yourself in the mirror, you're not looking at you. You're not facing who you are. You're not seeing yourself. Now, I can't see beauty. I don't. When I look in the mirror right now, I am not seeing beauty. I don't like what I see physically. And at this point in time, I can't get past that. But slowly, over time, I'm sure it will happen. So I'm looking forward to meeting that person, looking into the eyes of that person, and welcoming her to this happy, stress-free life that I am creating for myself. So, wow, I talk a lot. I've got to get to the gym and get walking, because I should have headed out the door about 45 minutes ago. I was waiting on music to upload onto my iPod, so I figured I would go ahead and do my video journal for the morning. So this is me heading out to day 2, and I'm loving it. So let's all have a good day.